Hutchinson. I am the Director of Digital Strategy and University Communications, and I'm here to tell you today about our new and upcoming campus calendar of events. So I'm sure that many of you, or most of you, are familiar with our current calendar of events at UC San Diego. It's a pretty simple system. We've had it for about 8 years now, but we're ready to upgrade and get some more robust features going here. So we have actually been looking into new platforms for the calendar, and we landed on a system called Localist, which is a very robust calendaring system. It is third party. So we will no longer be hosting the calendar ourselves, but our team will be in charge of managing permissions for this new calendar and the front end design. Just to give you a little background on why we decided to go in this direction. So we really want to make sure that our campus calendar of events is a place where everyone feels comfortable posting their events, whether it's smaller area specific events or big events. We want to make sure that we have one great calendar where everyone can post what they need to post. This project is actually part of what we're calling the campus activation, which is an initiative that is to make UC San Diego, promote UC San Diego as a place where people can come and attend cool events and really get to know our campus. We really want people to know UC San Diego as a destination campus. So this calendar will help us get there. Our current challenge with our current calendar is there's not a lot of functionality. It's simple. It serves its purpose, like I said, but not everyone is posting their events to this calendar, and there's a lot of accessibility gaps and just not a lot of functionality that people are interested in using. So we thought the opportunity with this new calendar would be to bring the campus a modern, integrated, intuitive platform that makes event discovery and management on campus effortless. So again, our vision is to just really make sure this is a beautiful calendar that everyone feels comfortable posting to. And I am going to go in this presentation over some of the core features of this calendar, what next steps will be for you and your teams. We will also do a little demo so you can see what it looks like. So the key benefits of the new Localist calendar are effortless event discovery. There's many more SEO bells and whistles with this new calendar. There'll be better organization. We're going to be organizing areas by groups, which I'll go into more in a bit. There'll be a better user experience on desktop and mobile. And we're hoping this leads to, again, more collaboration across campus and stronger campus connections to faculty and staff as well as the community. So some of our main core features of this new calendar system are you're going to be able to log in with single sign-on, which is great because now we have a separate username and password for our current central calendar. So you'll be able to use single sign-on. There's going to be more fine-grained permissions. So we're going to be setting up areas as groups in this calendar. And then we will be able to assign admins to those groups and then users who can post to those groups. And the admins can opt to approve the events within their group or just let them be posted on the calendar. We're also offering free event registration, which is great. I've heard some feedback where some groups use Eventbrite for their event registration. So you'll be able to use this system for the free event registration. We are exploring paid registration, and we have not finalized that. So at least for launch, we will have the free registration set up for all of you to use. This new calendar system also has robust event tagging and categorization. So we will have some preset categories that we will be offering for filters on the calendar, but then you have the ability with this one to use open-ended tagging. So for example, if you have an event that has something specific and you want to use a widget to feed it in somewhere on a specific website as part of a specific event series, you can tag it with that name, and then you can make a custom feed for your website for that type of event. We also have keywords on this calendar that aren't visible on the event details page, but you can use them if people often misspell the name of the event, so that it will still come up in the search, but it won't necessarily show on the page. But that also helps with search engine optimization and findability. One of the great, powerful things about this is you will be able to make widget feeds for your campus CMS and other websites based on the filters, the groups, and the other tags that you use. So after we launch this calendar, we're going to be working on finalizing those widgets and getting those up for you. So we'll have more information on how to integrate those with your campus CMS websites and your Blink pages and things of that nature and your external websites later on down the line. So we'll be back in touch with you about that. We are also going to have the ability on this calendar for public users who are not UCSD affiliates to sign up and log in to tag events, like events, track their registrations. Also, UC San Diego users can use it for that purpose as well. If they're not one of the users that's going to be posting events, they can still track their events if they would like to log in, which is a nice perk. Also, people who are public users can make feeds of events to send to their email all by themselves. So that's another benefit. And then another great feature here is the ability to make events either public, so that would just be the default, unlisted for private events that you could just share the link to, or restricted. So you could opt to restrict an event and have it just feed to your website through a widget and not actually be posted on the main central calendar of events. So this new, and I'll show you this in the demo, this new calendar has what are called group pages, and those group pages are your own personal page on the calendar that would have all of the events that your group posts. It would also have an image, and it would also have a little blurb and other information, contact information for your group. You can drive people to this group page once it's all set up, but again, we're really going to be promoting those widgets so you can actually embed your feed on your actual website, so you're not losing people who are navigating on your website jumping over to the calendar. We'll also have place pages, so we're going to launch with some of our core campus venues, pages for each of those. So each of those venues would have all the events listed that are taking place at that venue. We're also going to group these into UC San Diego neighborhoods. So you can also, using this calendar, find a list of all of the venues that are in a certain neighborhood, and you can browse the calendar by neighborhood as well. We're also going to have what are called channel calendars. Those are standalone calendars that are still related to our core calendar. So for example, we're going to be getting our student groups posting to this central calendar, but they will have their own student life landing page that will feed in all their student organization events, plus events that are tagged using our student filter for the core events on the other page. Those can also feed into the students. So the student orgs are not in with the main calendar, but they will be over on their own calendar, and everyone will post to a central place. We'll also have these standalone pages for campus-wide signature events such as commencement. So commencement, for example, would get its own landing page for its event, and then those events would be on that page specifically, and also in that case would be fed over to the core campus calendar. There's also the ability, similar to that, but a little different, to set up what are called conference events. So those are overarching events such as homecoming or other bigger events that have sub-events underneath of those events. So those will be on the main calendar, not on these channel calendar pages. So our new permission model is more robust than our current permission. So currently we just have it. So as long as you have a UC San Diego email address, you get permission to post, and that will still be the case. You do need a UC San Diego email address, but there's different levels of permissions and administrators now. So all of the users will be assigned to groups. There will be an administrator or administrators if you need backup administrators, and the administrators can opt to approve all the events that go through their group, or they can say, I don't need to do that, or I don't have the time, so these are trusted users under my group, I'm gonna let them all post the events to right straight up to the calendar. So each group can decide how they want to manage all of that. So the first step will be to use this group setup request form to request permissions, and I have information about all of this in the email that I sent you. So that should all be there. That's the first step. And then once you request your group page and you let us know who your admins are, we will be in touch with you with next steps of how to onboard other regular users to your group and information about how to update your group page and things of that nature. So in terms of a timeline for this calendar, our go live is going to be June 30th. So the end of June, the calendar will be officially launched. But during the month of May, we are going to be sending around these emails and this video to get people onboarded. So current calendar users would be onboarded, and the next group of users who would be onboarded would be those folks who aren't currently in the calendar, but they're interested in coming on board into the new calendar. There will be also a period of time where we'll send communications about this, but we are going to be the first week of June importing events that are going to take place after launch from the current calendar. And we are going to import them into Localist. We're going to clean them up and then send a notification to all of you that you can go in and start poking around. We'll send training materials at that time. You can look at the events that you have in there, make adjustments. And during that period of time, we're going to ask you to make updates to your events happening after launch, both in the old calendar system and the new calendar system for that little period of time. So you'll have time to experiment in there, maybe post some other upcoming events that are happening, and then you can ask us questions. We are going to have a Teams channel available at that time too. So as you start exploring, you can ask us questions if they pop up, if you're not sure how to do something, if something's not clear from our training material. And then we are actually not sure exactly of the timeline for the widgets that we'll be integrating. We do have to speak with ITS about that, but our plan is to start thinking about how the widgets are going to be set up for the campus CMS and other sites the second week of June. And then, like I said, the calendar will launch on June 30th. So now I wanted to give you a tour of the current calendar. So I'm going to share my browser here. We're still working on the front end. We're still fine-tuning some things. So some things might change between what you see here and what you'll see when you start your training in about a month. But overall, this will be the general look and feel of our new Localist calendar. So if you are a logged in user, you'll have this link to for the administration panel, and we'll again send more training materials, but that's where you'll log in to add events to the calendar, and the admins will be going to approve events and to do the group page formatting and things of that nature as needed. So on this new calendar, we opted not to do a slider this time. So we have these static featured events that will be managed by University Communications. So they'll be tagging events to be featured here. And then similar to our calendar now, we have featured and upcoming events, as well as exhibits that will be taking place on campus. We have a mini calendar here. These things here will be changing, these resources. We're going to rethink that. And so let me take you into a page. This is what our event page looks like, our event details page. So as you can see, we have all the event details there. You can view it on the map. You can add it to your calendar. You can add one hashtag, a description, and then it has various event types, different audiences that you can select. And these are the open-ended tags that you can add yourself. So these events, the event types right here are the preset categories that we're going to have in the website. Also with this calendar, I forgot to mention before, you can add speakers. We're just testing that out. It is something that you have to actually set the speakers in the system first and then pull them in. So we'll have how to do that in our training material ready to go for you during the training time in June. I'm just going to go back out to the home page. I forgot to show all of you the filtering. So another nice thing about this calendar is this robust filtering system. So you can change the layout here. You can sort by date, by whether an event is in person or virtual. And these are those preset filters I was telling you about. You can search by these. And also audience here and UC San Diego neighborhood. So if there are events taking place in a certain neighborhood, you'll be able to browse for those right here. So the other thing I want to show you is the groups pages. So this is what I was talking about that you're going to all request to set up for your areas. We don't have any strict rules at the moment around who qualifies for a group. So basically think of this again as how you're going to be managing your events. So if you, for example, are in a department and you have a robust events team and you want to have fine-grained control over what events are posted into that department, and you don't want your divisions and your centers and anything like that to have their own groups, you can opt to set it up that way. You would just need to make sure you have administrators and be communicating with all those areas that the expectation is that they would join your department group, and then they would post through there. There could be other departments though that say, I want a department group and I want our divisions and centers and everything else to have their own groups too. So that's also okay to do. So really just be thinking of it in terms of permission structure, and also what you would want to, how you want to embed the events on your website. Beyond embedding events on the website through groups, you can also do it through tagging. So you're not stuck with just embedding events from your group. But just to mention, it's probably good to think of your group as your permissions, how you're setting up your permission structure within your area. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out, and I have some more information about that as well in my email. So these groups, for example, we have Alumni Relations has a group set up here. On these group pages, you have a link, you can add a link to your website that's optional. And we also have a blurb, which is optional. The ability to add a link to your Facebook or X account, just to let everyone know, these are the only two that are available. They don't have, Localist does not have, for some reason, LinkedIn available, and they never updated the icon to X. So we've asked as a feature request for them to update that, but just put your X link there if you'd like to use that. And then this is a list here, as you can see, of all of your upcoming events. So any events that are posted within your group will show up here. And then we also have, I had mentioned places, so you can see this. For example, we have Birch Aquarium. Birch Aquarium has its own page. We haven't added blurbs to these yet, but we can add blurbs, and it's similar to the group page where you have all the events taking place under this umbrella of Birch Aquarium, and the location there on the map. And then you can search by all the venues. We only have one right now, for example, that are in the Scripps Institution of Oceanography neighborhood. All of those, as we populate this more, will pop up here. So thank you so much. I think that's all I wanted to show you today. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email and reach out. We are just so excited to onboard you into this new calendar. We are open to feedback about any of our processes, so let us know if you notice anything is difficult to navigate with we're onboarding people with the forms, like I said, so if anything's unclear in there, in the forms, please let us know. Thank you so much for listening to this video, and we are looking forward to working with all of you. Thank you.